Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 42nd episode of Final Round. As always I'm Squeak and this abomination is Alan Jabby Gibson.
With this particular episode, we might as well call it a day UFC. This final round will look at UFC 110, in the debut in Australia.
We also would like to apologize over the delay again with our production, as Trinormal seems to not like producing this episode. Plus our executive producer is pretty much tied down with uni work at the moment. But nevertheless we are here.
And what better to first off than to start off with Mirko Cro Cop vs Ben Rothwell. This is pretty much the biggest fight in their UFC careers, because it is their last chance at the big time in UFC. The loser here's chances of the UFC title shot or any big super fight is all but gone. Cro Cop really needs to be the old feared striker that he used to be here, and Rothwell has to utilize his wrestling skills.
So who do you reckon will win this very close encounter then?
They both have shown they can be great in the cage. I love Cro Cop, and I really do feel for where he is right now, especially with the poor loss to Dos Santos. Rothwell has shown great talent in the IFL days. But I'm going to go with Cro Cop, because he is one of my favorite strikers.
Up next is the light heavyweight title fight between the Dean of Mean Keith Jardine and Ryan Darth Bader. Very random fight to book, but it is an interesting fight nevertheless. Jardine's a well-established light heavyweight, while Darth Bader came out of nowhere with a hugely impressive win. Can't help but think Jardine's a clear favorite, but Darth Bader may use the force.
Ever do such a shitty Star Wars joke again, and I'll rip your balls off, like I'm planning to do with Josh the Cunt Koschex. Bader's a huge guy, and if he repeats his great performance, he has a chance. Jardine was so close to the title shot, but he's just slipping slightly. A win here would give him a super fight, maybe even against Randy Couture. I think this is more evenly matched than people think. I think Bader may take a surprise victory here.
Next up is Joe Daddy Stevenson against Australia's own George Sotiropoulos. This will bring a lot of cheers solely because the home nation fighter is in this fight. It's going to be very good. Would you say this is the test finally for Sotiropoulos?
We always said that George, was pretty much needed a test fight to see if he can cut it and add the top of the lightweight division. This is the fight, and I do believe he deserves a main pay-per-view fight, but I can't help it because he was Australian. We all know how tough Stevenson is. It takes very special fighters to be Joe. Then again, George's last loss was Aoki. I say this will be the same as Jardine and Bader, but I think this will be a submission war. Stevenson with a narrow win here.
We now move on to the sub-main event of the evening between Vanderlei the Axe Murderer Silva and Michael the Count Bisping. Two notoriously tough middleweights that take no shit. Both well loved, and both aim for the big win, so who will take it?
You know, if Silva's loss to Franklin wasn't so controversial I would root Bisping, but you can never rule out the Axe Murderer. Bisping's losses came from world-class fighters, and so have Silva's. I really hope for a stand-up war with punches and kicks thrown. But I really do feel Silva's time would be in doubt with another loss. Bisping needs the win as well. I think the winner here will fight the loser of Silva and Belfort. This will be a great fight, but I think Bisping will take it.
Now on to the big main event between Antonio Minotauro Nogueira against Cain Velasquez. It's Cain's biggest fight and test to date, while Nogueira is extremely keen to add another impressive win to his UFC record. This is a fantastic main event between a phenomenal young striker and a true veteran of the sport.
It's a war between the submissioner and the striker, but Minotauro can stand as well. I feel Minotauro's better chances to take this to the ground and use his wealth of experience. Cain's best chance is to knock him the fuck out, or rough him up, and keep it standing. It's going to be a fight that Crocodile Dundee would be proud of.
Again with the Australian reference?
Hey, I could have compared the fight between Steve Irwin and the Stingray. Give me some credit.
Don't you fucking dare. I'm going to end this before we get fucking flamed. We'll be back for UFC 111. See you all later.